Hi, welcome to the 12th episode of Bookish Time with Jenny. This week happens to be National Library Week. Normally, libraries do a little bit more when there's not a pandemic, um, special programs and stuff. We're just doing a giveaway if you visit the branch. And then we also have buttons that say, I love my library. But I have a weakness and a curse that I love reading books about libraries. I say curse because some books don't depict libraries right. So I get really picky if I'm like, I won't name it, but I read one time where the girl was a teenager and she was the only one working in the library. Like, why would somebody let a teenager work the library alone? I don't know. But I don't know, it can get really crazy. But it's very popular in cozy mysteries. And then I have my Agatha Christie shirt, The Body in the Library. But so I could not decide. I've went back and forth a million times on which book I wanted to talk about. So I wanted to stick to something newer. But if you want my whole list, actually on Goodreads, I have a shelf that just says library related. I have 3 shelves on my own bookcase. That's not even the cozy mysteries. The cozy mysteries are behind me mixed in with other cozy mysteries, but of books that are about libraries. But what you might not know is Hallmark actually has started publishing books. And it's a variety. Some of them are, they're little love stories like they're movies, but they also have some mysteries. So I believe this came out last month. Murder by Page 1, a Peach Coast library mystery. It's supposed to be book 1. And there's also this one. A lot of cozies have recipes in them. This one just has one recipe in the back. But in case you don't quite know what cozy mystery means, it just means the murder happens off the page and they don't go into detail really. But this one's about a librarian that moves from Brooklyn to a small town in Georgia. Well, it calls it on the back. It says it's a quirky small town. What small town isn't? Well, but see, some people don't. I guess you're probably not going to watch this if you aren't a fan of libraries. But it says when she's not at libraries organizing events for readers, she's handcrafting book-themed jewelry and looking after her cranky cat. At times, her new life in the South feels strange, and that's before the discovery of a dead body in the bookstore. And I've probably said this before. The thing about a lot of cozies is you have to kind of suspend reality because how many people find that many dead bodies? Because some cozy mysteries are like 20 some books. Like, what person finds 20 bodies in their life? And, there's not a few times then you are the suspect because why do you keep finding them? But I don't know. And then it says after one of her friends becomes a suspect, she sets out to solve the murder mystery. She even convinces the wealthy and charming newspaper owner to help. With his ties to the community, her talents for research, and her fellow librarians' knowledge, Marvy pursues the truth, but as she gets closer, could she be facing a deadly plot twist? There's almost always a love interest. It just varies by book on how much. Some's more mystery, some's even mixed, some it should be labeled a romance, not a mystery, but a lot of times it's a good mix. And like this one, I love the cover too. But and actually right now there's a Hallmark book club on Facebook. This is the book that they're reading. I'm a member. I'm a member of a million online book clubs. My level of participation varies. But I mean, there's literary fiction about libraries. There's nonfiction. I really seriously own a book. I'm obsessed with Carnegie libraries. I work in one. But I really own a book that's about Carnegie architecture. So kind of drives me crazy that I want to do some things to my library, but it's not up to me. I'm trying to look over at the bookshelf. Uh, there's, kids fiction, the Mr. Limoncello Library, and that actually became a movie on Nickelodeon. It's 4 or 5 books now. I think it's a cute series. Kids aren't really checking it out that much, but hey, there's no shame. If you're an adult, you can still go down to the juvenile section and check out Mr. Limoncello's library. Oh yeah, and there's a young adult series called The Evil Librarian. I haven't actually read that one yet, but um, it just sounds hilarious. And then Hallmark, as you might know, almost also makes the Aurora Teagarden books into movies by Charlene Harris. Now the book series, they've strayed far from the book series now. But the book series, she still released one last year or the year before, so I don't know that series is done publishing, but just separate it from the movies because they're no longer anywhere related, really. But that's a good number of books. There's some coffee table books about library architecture or, just unique library buildings. There's some kid books. There's a really good picture book called The Boy Who Was Raised by Librarians. I kind of feel like it's my life story, except it's not a boy. So that one's really cute. I know it really looks like I'm staring off into space, but staring off into the bookshelf. I think my favorite literary fiction is I love The Time Traveler's Wife. Again, don't judge that by its movie. The movie totally left out the librarianness. And that's about a male librarian, which is somewhat rare in the library field. That one is some libraries might classify it as fantasy because there's time travel involved, and I'm not the biggest fantasy reader, but like I said, I love Time Traveler's Wife. I'm trying to name ones I know for sure the library owns because, I want you to go put them on hold. But this one is coming soon, but it can be put on hold. I made sure it was in the library catalog before I even brought it up. And I know I run a cozy mystery book club. We're completely virtual, so you can join if you want. And I have a feeling once my book club members watch this, they're going to put this book on hold because they devour their cozy mysteries. And I also wanted to briefly talk about, let's see if I can grab it without knocking over everything. This one I know is in our system, and this is actually an upcoming book club pick. It's called Bait and Witch. Isn't it the cutest cover? This one, she moves to small town Oregon to lay low because she used to work at the Library of Congress, and she uncovers some corruption and kind of made herself a target, so she's kind of, secretly hiding on the opposite coast. But then she finds out she was hired even though the library is supposed to be bulldozed, and it's the first in the series. The other one comes out this summer, I believe. But now this one kind of touched on I have to tell you something funny that's going to make no sense, but what stands out about this book, and I don't know any library where this actually has happened. It's like I said, I think it's an old Victorian mansion. A lot of it's by somewhat near a trailer park, and a lot of people there's a bathtub on, I think, the second story of the library, and a lot of the town comes and uses the bathtub. I don't know any library that, even if it was an old house, I think they'd probably cover up the bathtub, but so I'm kind of like, but hey, I have to admit, I worked in a couple of small town libraries. I could totally see it happening, but I've never, no, I don't have an experience with that. And then, actually, I've only, besides one library, every library I work at has actually been a Carnegie building. They do not feature bathtubs. I knew that was going to happen because I haven't fed him yet this morning. He's a little crazy. That is Teddy. He's only a year old, so he's still has his kitten ways. And I'm waiting for I don't know what he's doing. Where are you going? Do you want to be on video? This happens in all my like Zoom things I do from home. At least one of I have another Ginger. At least one of them always attacks me. So these are 2 cozy mysteries. And I really think even if you think you won't like cozy mysteries, either of these are a good gateway. I promise you'll like them. And like I said, you probably shouldn't be watching this if you don't like libraries. So, and here's a fun library bookmark that I have. But, so yes, you'll be watching this on Friday. So it'll be towards the end of National Library Week. But at least at my library system, if you come in, you can enter to win as an adult a $25 Visa gift card. Teenagers can win a $25 Visa gift card. And then kids, I believe it's 6 and under. It's one of the Kohl's plushes. So you get a plush and you get the book. And also, actually, you know what? I'm setting on. Oh, it says I like long walks to the library. I have a tote bag that matches. This is what the button looks like. And I'm sure if you happen to come next week, we might still have some of these left. So, and you already missed National Library Workers Day. That was Tuesday. I'd like to thank the library board for our awesome, I don't have it handy. We got a fun bag with the best library quote ever. I'm going to get it wrong, but it's something about the best part of a library is the staff that goes home at night. I butchered that. I'm sorry. And then they also, I don't know if it was, I think they're the ones who bought us lunch. Don't quote me on that. Somebody bought us lunch. So yes, it's kind of somewhat our favorite week of the year, but again, it's a very weird week during the pandemic. So, and it's, I posted, like Happy National Library Week on Facebook and stuff, and I brought up some sore feelings from people whose library systems aren't open yet. I'm sorry, but I think we're getting really close, so hopefully by this summer all your libraries will be open. But we only open back up in the mid-February, and we're somewhat restricted, but people can come in and browse our shelves. Till next time.